Hello everybody, and welcome to our new series as voted on by you guys, Hard West. Hard West is kind of, well, it's sort of a Wild West XCOM-like game, at least in terms of combat. There's more to it than that, but we'll get into it when we get to it. I have played through most of the scenarios, except for this one, obviously, and the Scars of Freedom DLC. There are some unlockables you can get, as you can see. There's stuff like this, shotgun revolver, baby number 9, skin vest, yada yada. I will be playing through this game as if I have not acquired any of those. There's a reason for that, and I'll get into it when it becomes available, if that happens this video. But the first one is actually not In Gold We Trust, but it is actually Hard Times. It's kind of an odd timeline, but yes, this is the very first one, not this one, despite being at the far left. And it's the one we're going to be starting at. I did have to use this a few times for some audio testing, which... Speaking of which, if you guys would be so kind, if anything is too loud or anything is too quiet, be it myself or something within the game, please leave a comment down below letting me know. I only have myself and my own mother to help me with the audio testing, and we're not exactly perfect in that regard. So if you could, let me know if there's anything wrong with the audio. But anyways, with that, we'll be starting Hard Times. Your journey on the Oregon Trail is halted by the harsh realities of the West. You find temporary solace in the gold trade, but bad times are just around the corner. Soon you will be forced to make choices that will shape your destiny forever. And to a degree, choices do matter in the game, but it's not like, oh, a choice here affects something way down here. In reality, it's just... a choice within here affects within this game. Or within that scenario. Anyways, we'll be doing this on normal difficulty, a challenge but fair. We will be getting combat injuries. Your characters gain debuffs when badly damaged, or when damaged badly, but over time they grow stronger for the experience. What that basically means is you get injuries that can hinder your skills, but over time those injuries become scars, which will allow for better skills. So it's kind of worth it. I will not be doing Iron Man, which is basically when a critical character is killed, you have to start the scenario from scratch. And there are critical characters to the story. I will not be doing that. There are also gameplay mods that let you add customizable features. Full Deck gives you all ability cards. I will get into those when we get to them. Enemies no longer take free shots at approaching player characters. Basically, there is no Overwatch in this game, but if you get too close to an enemy, they will shoot at you. I don't believe the same is said for us, so because it's a little unfair, I'll just disabling that. Enemy abilities. Enemies will use a wide variety of abilities, making combat more challenging. Not going to be using that. Damage ignores cover. That is another thing that I will get into. I will not be doing that because cover affecting damage, A, makes sense, and B, it's going to be useful. Express scarification. Injuries turn to scars after just one tactical encounter and not two. I will be using that because I am using a guide, not for the combat scenarios, for reasons I will get into when we get into one. Well, our next one, not the tutorial one. But I will be using it for the map in order to maximize our gains in the maps, and also in order to ensure that I get all relics, because that's what I want to show you. Luck for kills. Characters regain luck for each enemy they kill. I will be taking that. I will not be taking luck regeneration because, that seems a little overpowered, especially when combined with luck for kills, so I'm just going to go for a healthy medium with this one. Unknown health. I will not be going for that. Squishy Posse. Every time a character is shot for more than one damage, he or she suffers an injury. Not be taking that. Cards of Destiny. Once a card is assigned to a character, it may only be removed when they die. I will not be going that, because I kind of like experimenting with cards, and I'm gonna do my best to try and make sure that not all my characters die. So, we'll be doing with reaction shot disabled, express scarification, and luck for kills. And those are pretty much going to be our scenarios for, or our modifications for each scenario. So without further ado, let's get this one started.
The Old West was a hard place. The only thing in abundance was poverty and firearms. Combine alcohol and hopelessness with greed, envy, lust, and pride, and death is often the result. Crude cabins stood alone in the wilderness, cut off from the outside world. People knew to mind their own business, but isolated, they grew ignorant and superstitious. Some said the devil walked the earth. Said lost souls haunted and possessed the living, pushing them past the edge of sanity. In this harsh and dangerous country, no one had it easy, including your family. You were 6 years old when you traveled the Oregon Trail with your mother and father. Food was scarce, and your father, despite being a fine tracker and a crack shot, failed to find any game. It was as if every animal on the trail was spooked by some evil force. Your old man found a small village and tried to trade equipment for food, but this village was overrun by outlaws. They took your mother and decided to trade you and your father to white slavers. But he managed to break free, told you to hide, and set out to save her.
They took Mother away. Could Father still save her? Probably not. Yeah, we'll do a basic tutorial. It'll help us get through this combat actually much quicker than we would just playing it on our own. And it'll let me explain a few things. Hard West is turn-based. You start. In this mission, your father must rescue your mother, who has been kidnapped by evil men. As you can see, very XCOM-like, movements and yada yada, all that. We get 2 action points, as usual. Typically, firing, unless otherwise stated, will use up all your action points. You can only move within the range indicated, and as you can see, there's another range that's for running, and that will get, or use up all your AP. The game won't let us move anywhere else, so let us move here into cover behind this log. Cover is very, very important. Half cover and full cover. Full cover provides the best protection, obviously. You have detected an enemy. All characters marked with red shield icons are enemies. The enemy's out of cover, so your shot will be very effective. It's not guaranteed, however. Your chance to hit is based on your character's aim ability. So there are some RPG-esque elements. So just because this guy's out of cover doesn't mean we're guaranteed to hit, because there is still the quote-unquote human element in regards to the character. But because this is a tutorial, we're pretty much guaranteed. Most actions require action points, and shooting typically uses up all remaining AP. When all our characters are out, or we choose to end our turn, then they move. As you can see there, we just lost a little something in that miss. Luck. Each character has a certain amount of luck. High luck protects from enemy shots, but when they miss, luck is depleted. So, remember how that shot against that one guy was a 70% chance? If we had somehow missed that, he would have lost 70 luck. Now, I'm still not 100% sure on how exactly luck affects your chances to be hit. I'm not sure. But who knows. Anyways, enemies that are in cover, your best bet is to try and flank around them to take a shot, if you can. Now, remember to reload often. Many weapons reload only a couple of rounds at a time. Yes. Unlike XCOM, when you reload, it does not fully reload your weapon. It's dependent on the gun, and in our case, with this 6-shooter, we only reload 2 rounds at a time. In broad daylight, you can locate enemies by their shadows. You can even shoot them if they have an unobstructed line of fire. Some materials like cloth or foliage can be shot through. Yes, the shadows are very important. It lets you know, hey, is there an enemy around the corner? If there is, then you have to be very, very careful. But it also means that you can see them. And if it's not something super solid that your bullet can get through, you can take a shot at them. Obviously, it's going to be a reduced chance, but hey, reduced chance is better than no chance. You ran out of luck and are bound to be shot. You must take better cover. You can use objects in the environment to create more effective cover. Yes, we can actually lift that up to make it full cover, which will actually reduce the amount of damage we take. You see, if your enemies try to shoot you through cover and they do manage to hit you, it will reduce the damage you take. Normally, we probably would have taken a lot more damage, but because we were behind full cover, it reduced it. By how much depends on A, the weapon you're being shot with, and B, the cover you're behind, whether it's half or it's full. Red bar shows your hit points. When hit, your luck is partially replenished. You have several abilities at your disposal. Some abilities require luck. Yes. Fires 3 shots, minus 20 aim penalty. So, luck is something you have to balance. Do I save my luck in order to increase my chances of not getting hit? Or do I use it for an ability? Now, even though it says 29% chance, this is pretty much guaranteed to hit. See what I mean? That's it for the tutorial. We're on our own for now.
She was nowhere to be found. He saw the box. What was in it?
Gee, I wonder.
The simple wooden box contained a head. Your mother's head. Afterwards, your father found one of the gunmen still alive. The dying man rambled on about some unholy obligation, about promises made by the devil himself, and the rewards they would find in hell.
Oh boy. Typical fools being brought in by the devil's promises, which he may or may not keep. Probably won't, or he will, but in a way that was unexpected. Never make deals with the devil. Doesn't end well. If only your prospecting was lucky enough you could get on the Oregon Trail again. Well, way to spoil what this one's about.
You and your father were alive, but all your supplies were destroyed. No way you'd make it to Oregon now. Your father decided to stay put and build a life right there. Many years passed, and you grew up. You became a man.
So the two of you took over the ruined railroad company buildings and tried your hands at farming. Soil was dry and the land was dangerous. You spent 10 long years scratching out an existence from the dirt. Now you are growing. You figured the two of you should try for the Oregon Trail again. It's what Mother would have wanted. Gold! Who would have thought they'd find it here? Just when you needed cash for your journey. Gee, how convenient. Time to strike it rich and get out of town before the outlaws and madmen showed up. They always do. The masked man controlled all the gold mining. His henchman sold you a license that let you run 9 prospecting operations. Yep, this is the map segment of the game. It's basically where you're going to be conducting all your story and eventually getting into doing tactical missions. But for the most part, about half to 2/3 of your time is going to be spent in this map, depending on the scenario. And it's where all the important decisions are made, which is why I'm using a guide for this. I will leave a link to the guide in the description. It's very useful, except for the combat scenarios, because, well, the user doesn't provide pictures, and they expect you to know what they're talking about. It's like, oh, stand over here, or set your character over there, and yada yada. Now, as you can see, we gained some gold and cards from the last mission. In this game, there is no leveling up. You can get stuff that improves certain abilities, such as movement, aim, defense, and sight, but you will never gain abilities. You will never really level up. Instead, you have cards which give you varying abilities. And as you can see, you can have 5 equipped at a time. Well, eventually. Once you gain more combat experience by participating in combat missions, then you will unlock more of these. There is something important to note, however, that if you were to equip certain cards that give you certain poker hands, you will gain abilities. I think if we do this... Yep, that gets us a pair, which gives us +4 movement, so very handy. And also why I'm not doing the Cards of Destiny. Now, the 10 of Spades gives us Ricochet. That is one of my favorite abilities. Basically, if there are any metal objects in the environment, you can bounce bullets off of that to try and hit enemies behind cover. It's very useful if you're in a situation where you can't really move, but you still need to take out your enemies. 10 of Spades, bounce bullets off 1 or more Ricochet objects. That does require 20 luck, but it gives us a bonus of +5 aim. Very useful. There is also the 10 of Diamonds. Equalization. Reduce every character's HP to 1. It can be useful if you basically want to create a sudden death scenario. I don't know if I'll use the ability, but I'll certainly equip this to improve aim. And I think I'll give both of these cards to Father, just because it'll give him the best aim and some extra movement. Okay then, first things first, we are actually not going to be going out and getting gold. Not yet, at least. Instead, we are going to be heading for the neighbor's house. It looked like the nearby farmhouse was inhabited. You paid them a visit, and they turned out to be kind people. Pretty surprising, given what's going on in this world. You exchanged pleasantries and the customary promises to help one another. More importantly, you met Florence, their beautiful, kind-hearted daughter. All you exchanged were a few glances, but you found yourself smitten. Ah, young love. Not interested in prospecting themselves, the neighbors tipped you off about a couple of promising spots.
From the day you first laid eyes on Florence, she was all you could think about. It wasn't just desire that she inspired in you. It was the way she saw the best in you, the way she made you feel.
Okay, next up we are headed for the collapsed mine. You'd heard about this place. A rich mine that collapsed years ago on top of a bunch of miners, burying them alive. Their wives and children still decorate the entrance with flowers. It looked like you could squeeze in, maybe get some of the gold they found. It might not have been the smartest thing to do. Oh, I know it's not the smartest thing to do. But you got in. As you reached the first opening, you found a skeleton with its legs crushed under a boulder. You wondered if he bled out before he died of thirst. His shirt, though stained, was still intact and of very good quality. You decided to go even deeper. What's the worst that could happen? Nothing bad ever happened to people who dug too deep. The next cavern was cramped and full of stale air. You found a little gold, but still not much. You moved onwards, wondering how far it was to the bottom. Wounded and weary, you eventually reached the end of the farthest tunnel, and there inside a massive stash of gold. The air must have poisoned you, because as you went to pick it up, you hallucinated a tall man in a suit, smiling and smoking. As you turned to leave, he said, "Just so we're clear, that's mine. But you can borrow it a while." It was all too much. You headed back to the surface. As you inched your way back to the sunlight, you heard a low rumble all around you. You hurried, hands trembling, heavy drops of sweat rolling down your face. You had just emerged, blinking into the sunlight, when the mine collapsed behind you. And we got some items out of that. Bloodstained shirt, almost new, just stained with blood. With blood a little here and there. Protects from crippling injuries. Sturdy shoes, boots of thick leather crafted by a talented shoemaker, +4 movement, and a relic. Priceless relics have a soothing effect on all witnessing their mindless destruction. Grants healing over time to all allies in radius. This is stuff we can equip, but I'll get into doing that later on. Face mutilation. Shot to the face so bad, even Lady Luck turns away. Oof. -1 max HP and -20 max luck. I could go off and heal that, I think. Actually, I don't think the healer's available at this very moment. But I think I'll hold on to it and try to get a scar. Okay. Now we're going to head to the Prospectors' camp. Prospectors, led by Alexander Kane, had been collecting gold using rinsing pans. Kane had vast knowledge of placer gold retrieving techniques. We are actually going to learn the advanced, or master techniques of gold rinsing. That gets us plus 75% more gold when doing gold mining that involves placer gold. It's going to cost us some money, but it'll work out in the long run, I hope. You learned how to retrieve gold using a sluice trough. Now our only options are to hit these 3 different areas and, well, mine for some gold. Mine looked like its hard rock depths were still untouched. There was probably gold down there. This will cost us some money to actually go after the gold, but hopefully we'll get a return on investment and then some. You rinse the placer gold, costing you $15. You collected the placer gold deposits by rinsing gravel and sand through a sluice trough. Got a profit of 20 bucks, not bad. Now, we do have to kind of deplete 2 of these. In reality, we only have to do 6 different forms of mining, or was it 5? No, it was 5. So I'm going to hit up all these locations and get the placer mining before I do depleting of anything else. So you got a profit of 46 from that one. And a profit of 39, so the investment is sort of paying for itself. Now I'm going to head back to Damp Mine and deplete it out. Let's see, excavated deeper gold costing us 40 bucks. Yeah, I only got a profit of 4 bucks. And we're going to spend 100 gold to mine the hard rock gold. Ooh, got a profit of 126. Not bad. Collect the hard rock gold deposits by smashing the quartz stones with a pickaxe. Inevitably, news about the gold spread. Overnight, several nearby homesteads and settlements were raided. Father worried you wouldn't make it on your own. He figured you'd need protection. You disagreed, but went along with his decision. For the last time. Yeah, unfortunately, the only form of protection we're gonna get is from a crime lord, and we have to do this. Unfortunately. The Mexican said he'd help you if you split your gold money with him. He left you a bunch of guns, some empty blessings, and a promise to send a vaquero to help out. Obviously, this ain't gonna help. But we got some guns, a Navy gun and repeater rifle, those will be good. We got Cheech for our posse, and we also got access to Homestead and the Crossroads. So, next up, we're going to be headed for... the repeater rifle is also a trinket. I'll get into that later. We also kind of have access to the Fate Trader. Now, all these trinkets that you collect, you will gain access to through the Fate Trader. So anything you've unlocked from other scenarios, you can purchase here. You came across a shady character in peculiar clothing and a bizarre market stand. He said that his trinkets will only reveal themselves to you when you deserve so. Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff unlocked, but I will not be using any of it. Because I am going to be playing this game as though I have not played any other scenarios. We do have access to the repeater rifle, which, yes, was a trinket. We're not going to get into that. So, next up, we are headed to the Crossroads. Some folks said that just before the sunrise, there was an electric feeling on the packed earth of the Crossroads. It kind of makes your hair stand on end. It sends shivers down your spine. Some swore they'd met a man there, well-dressed and well-spoken, who offered them a tempting deal. He can make you powerful, in return for a piece of yourself. Let us take the deal. You felt empowered, but more than a little hollow inside. You turned to ask the man if that was normal, but he had vanished. Warren is now afflicted by damnation. But we got a couple of cards out of the deal. Damned by the devil himself, minus 10 max luck. Oof. And our new cards are Jack of Spades, Courage. Bolster your parameters when surrounded by enemies. Also grants us +2 defense, and Ace of Hearts. Every hit you score cripples the target. +10 luck. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put that on Warren. Considering, you know, he's a little short on luck these days. Plus, it's a passive, and being able to cripple your targets with every shot is not bad. This also gives +2 defense. Who has the lowest amount of defense? I'm not too worried about Cheech. He's only going to stick around for one mission. Though if he dies, well, that's not going to be good for us. But I'm not too worried about him. You know what? I'll give it to Warren. And as you can see, because it doesn't make a hand in poker, we get no bonuses from it. Now, after hitting the crossroads, that unlocks the orchard for us. We head up the orchard, and we see the blind man. Man's eyes have been sewn shut with crude twine. He sat perfectly still, his gun in his holster, his stash on the ground close to you. For minutes, he didn't make the slightest noise. Then, uttered a single slow sniff. You could have grabbed his stuff and run for it, but then there was that gun. We grab the stash and run. It gets us some gold and nail bomb, but we get another injury. In an instant, he was spraying bullets at you. You were fast, but he was faster, hitting you at every turn as if guided by spirits. You ran for your life until you were sure you were out of his range. That does get us Gushing Wound, which, according to earlier, is a lucky thing to get. I'm hoping the scar we get from it is good. Let's see, a deep cut results in severe enfeeblement, -3 max HP. Oh, the scar we get from this better be good, because I am now down to 2 health. And I am an essential character. What that means is, well, if we die, we basically fail. That's where Iron Man mode comes in, which is why we're not doing that, because of stuff like this. Now, there are only 2 places left, the meadow and the trading outpost. If we head for the meadow, you noticed a young native woman with a basket picking flowers and carefully selecting herbs. Initially started by our arrival, she then offered you healing herbs for sale. We can buy the herbs for 35 gold, or at the expense of some luck, not max luck, just regular luck, we can go out and look for ourselves instead. Observant and lucky, you pick the correct herbs. We get 3 dried healing herbs. Let's see. We'll head for the trading outpost. The proprietor was eager to exchange goods with you. You got to bartering. Now, we don't necessarily have to use cash. We can actually trade items based on their value to gain new stuff. We're gonna get 2 more healing herbs. And I'm just gonna pay in cash this time. Adjust to total offer, that's very good. And then we trade. After that, we've got our first tactical mission, and even though we've only got about a minute and a half left, I'm gonna keep going just so that we can see a real tactical mission and then end the video off there. Bandits were coming. The hour of reckoning. It was the hour of reckoning. We took up defensive positions. Okay then. Preparation stage. Okay, we're gonna give Father and Cheech 2 healing herbs. Thankfully, we can switch around stuff. Because we gotta keep this guy alive or it'll cost us. Then we need to distribute ability cards. Already done that. Unequip all the weapons from every character. That'll automatically make them equip a rusty pea shooter. It is the worst. It only deals 2 damage and -10 aim. But it does allow us to get through, or get an achievement. I believe Arizona something? Not 100% sure on that one. Now, as I was saying in the guide, the combat guide doesn't really help all that much because there are no pictures provided. I'm gonna give a healing herb and I guess the nail bomb to Warren. But let's proceed to combat. Yeah, but anyways, I believe we need to go through with a Rusty Pea Shooters, get something, Arizona something for an achievement. You were well armed and prepared to defend your home from the bad men. Yeah, if Cheech dies, it'll cost you $200. Enemies have been alerted. Father and Warren must survive. Oh, trust me, I'm gonna make my absolute best to ensure that Warren survives. Let's get him behind full cover rather than half cover. And from there, I'm gonna let them come to us. Now, because our Rusty Pea Shooters only do 2 damage, well, it means we're going to need at least 2 shots from each character in order to... Or 2 shots from 2 different characters in order to take these guys out. And a lot more for that guy. 69% chance to hit. Ooh, boy. Doesn't help that we have a minus 10 aim penalty from these Rusty Pea Shooters. See what I mean? And now he's going to hide behind some cover. But he's not going to turn it into full cover, the fool. At least his friend is smarter than that. Oh boy. Could try and use a rusty nail bomb on these guys, but I don't have a line of sight on them. But if I move over here, I should be able to do that. Let me just real quick check the parameters for that Arizona one. That's not what I want. I want to see all the achievements. Let's see. Nope. Come on, where is it? Huh. Strange. Did I already get that? Stone Blend, Justice, Requiem, Raw Deal, Everlasting. No, I'm not seeing it. It's probably a hidden achievement. Which, this actually... Huh. Equalization. If I had a little more luck, that might have actually been a smart idea. Now, the game will always focus on the enemy you have the best chance of hitting. And I was actually aiming at the wrong guy. Oof. Oh, jeez. I gotta take that guy out with the shotgun. Especially before he kills Warren. Unfortunately, it seems I don't have a line of sight on this guy. Okay, Cheech, finish him off, please. Really? Good, that took him out and did plenty of damage to the other guy. Now please hit this guy, Warren. Thank you. Okay, I think next time I'm actually going to use Equalizer. Yes, that'll reduce everybody down to 1 HP, but I think that might actually be for the best. But with that, I will end this episode off here for today. If you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications for when I upload, or to hit the straw poll link to vote for our next Let's Play. And please, leave a comment down below this video. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.